If you've debated or skilled Cobra Kai before, chances are you've skilled these two characters, Season 4 Hawk and Robbie. They've always been infamous for being dead relatives in the most recent fight, with the community being pretty evenly split on who wins. Now today we are not here to talk about Robbie and Hawk, but a very common argument made for them. And that is that, ooh, Robbie wins in a street fight, Hawk wins in a tournament. I'm sure every single tournament match in Cobra Kai has someone make this argument, like Johnny versus Daniel, Daniel versus Mike, Miguel versus Robbie. Literally every single tournament fight this conversation happens. But today we're going to talk about why this argument sucks and doesn't make any sense at all, but it may not be for the reasons that you may think. Anyways, let's get into it. First off, let me ask y'all a question. What is a street fight? I'll give you a second to think about it. I'm sure the people who use this argument don't really think this question through a lot. They just kind of say that someone would win in a street fight. Now, a street fight doesn't actually have a definitive meaning. It's just a fight that happens outside of sparring in tournaments. But don't forget, that can range from something like this to something like this or this. Now, what do these clips all have in common? They're all in a different environment with zero rule set. So that's why you got Tori pulling out weapons and stuff like that. But anyways, street fights are not just fights on flat ground. The environment where you fight heavily influences the outcome of the fight. The people who say things like, oh, Robbie would beat Hawk if they were a street fight, are imagining like literally a tournament setting, but just no points and no ref, and you just fight till you can. But that's literally not what a street fight is. Let's take a look at my favorite example. In Season 2, when Miguel and Hawk fight at Coyote Creek, Hawk does this move right here. Now, this hits Miguel and damages him slightly, although not very. But imagine if this were a tournament where there were no tree. If this were to happen in a tournament in Season 2, Miguel would literally just land on his back and then keep beating up Hawk like how everything originally was. But this goes to show you, a street fight which these people claim, oh, X character would win in and then another character would win in a tournament, can range from freaking Coyote Creek to landing on the second floor. The environment heavily influences the fight outcome, and a street fight is literally, it's not just a fight on flat ground, guys, come on. This is why I've always believed the tournament winner as the better fighter, with some exceptions. As it's quite literally combat where you can't use your surrounding objects or structures to help you out. Now, once again, to reiterate this, if Miguel and Hawk fought here in Season 2 instead of Coyote Creek, then he would beat Hawk even quicker than he did in Coyote Creek, because Hawk wouldn't have even like hit him with anything, because that tree was just not be there. Now, so next time you find someone using this argument, ask them, what is a street fight? Is it at Coyote Creek, a frat party bar, or whatever, you know? Is somebody gonna use a weapon? Because like Tori said,
this isn't a tournament. There are no rules.
The fight would go very differently in every environment. A better way to say something like this, I guess, would be Robbie or Hawk would win if it was a flat battleground fight. But then, that's just a freaking tournament. That's literally just a tournament. You see what I mean? The argument of, oh, he or she would win in a street fight is so dumb, and it needs to be stopped. And just to put this disclaimer here, I'm not saying that the tournament winner is 100% of the time the better fighter. There are still some circumstances where this isn't true. Like, you know, for Robbie versus Hawk, you could argue like Robbie's mental state, yada yada. Or for Miguel versus Robbie, you could say the injured shoulder. For Johnny versus Daniel, you could say, you know, Johnny was mentally nerfed or Daniel was injured. But it doesn't change the fact that the tournaments are still a better showcase of skill overall than a street fight, I guess, which once again does not have a definitive meaning. In conclusion, guys, the argument of X character winning a street fight is just so bad. Tournament fights show the most skill. Cope harder, stay healthy, eat your greens, get rich, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.